Hey, everybody, this is Rory McDonald from MacDon and Associates coming to you with the next episode of Tuesdays with Rory. I have in the studio Emily Jacobs. Very excited to have her from Empowered Moms. Really excited to have you on and just kind of share what you do, what you're all about, and really your heart behind this community that you're a part of. So I'll let you kind of take it away. Tell us about Empowered Moms.
Yeah, thank you, Rory. So yeah, like you said, I'm Emily Jacobs. I'm the founder of Empowered Moms. And the real truth behind it is when I became a mom for the first time, I was 38 years old. So I had this big career in nursing. At the time, I don't know how many years it was, let's just say 15 or so. And when she was born, I felt like I wasn't supposed to dream or have goals or dreams anymore. And it was this really weird feeling because when she was born, I'm looking at this beautiful child. All my dreams came true. Like literally that was it. And then I had this empty feeling in my chest, like, am I done? At the same time, one of my friends was starting a company out in Arizona, and she was saying, do you feel like you're meant for more to make an impact in this world? Now, also at the same time, I had family and friends that would say to me, it sounds like you're ungrateful. It sounds like they kind of made me feel guilty about it. And so I sat with that. I didn't do anything with it. I went back to my nursing career. And what I learned was my heart was shifting. My heart was getting pulled. And I really struggled in motherhood at the beginning. And we'll leave it at that. I mean, there's stories, right, with newborns, but imagine just like it was not the sunshine and roses and rainbows that I was dreaming about. I really struggled and I didn't have support that I really needed the first kind of 8 weeks. And then when I did, I realized that maybe more women needed this, not so much in the newborn phase, but just in general. And I knew at that point I was going to be working with moms because I didn't want anyone to go through what I went through, especially in the newborn phase. So then fast forward, now I have that daughter is now 6.5. And I realized after working in nursing for about 20 years that what I really love the most, and I did like ICU nursing, I did leadership roles. What I realized was I love connecting with people. And how can I serve you in this moment to help you move forward and make this day better? And that was my favorite part. And I realized I can't do that in the box that I was in. So I'm going to say I was in the box. I had mentors saying, look outside the box. You can serve in different areas. And it kept coming back to moms and it kept coming back to how can I coach them and help them or bring them in community so they don't feel alone? Because I felt alone. So yes, we launched Empowered Moms 2023 a couple months ago. And it truly is a place where we raise the bar for moms who know they're worthy of more. We do this through coaching, community connections. We have an online portal. We bring in guest speakers. It's really a place for moms to come back to themselves. And kind of get that missing piece of them, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be work related, doesn't have to be, anything related to that, but just I feel like a little part of me was gone and I want to get that piece back. That's essentially Empowered Moms.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's you put that together very well. It's almost like you rehearsed this. No, I think
I've said it a few times.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's awesome, and it's awesome that the thing that's encouraging for me is knowing that there's somebody out there specifically from my side of town, from Metro Detroit, who's doing this, and you guys aren't specific to Metro Detroit, correct? So, location-wise, clients that you've taken on, conferences that you've done. Where have some of those things taken place?
Yeah, well, actually, I just got back from Arizona, of all places. My mentor hosted Powerhouse Women. This event in Arizona was phenomenal. It was 500-600 people in a room and then online space. So as a speaker over there. But what we do with Empowered Moms is we do a monthly networking, which is once a month. So locally, Metro Detroit area. So we do get people from kind of all over. We do that monthly. Right now, that's just a free connection, get to know each other. And I will say, like our last ones, I mean, these are strangers, right? We come in, we have like a glass of wine and some dinner together, and we walk away with new friends and just a feeling of, okay, I feel safe. And here's the thing, not that your friends and family aren't enough, but there's just sometimes when you meet someone else, you're able to get more vulnerable with them because it's really a non-judgmental space. So that's the in-person. And then online, 3 times a month, we do kind of like a group coaching, group connection call. I'll bring in a guest speaker that's got a really like hot topic that maybe moms are struggling with. And we talk through that. She gets to kind of promote and introduce herself. And then we just do some open Q&A, like what are we struggling with today that we want to move forward, not stay stuck in? There's only so much we kind of, I want to say, vent I was going to say a different word, but
Sure.
we're going to say we vent, but then we say, okay, but now what do we do with this? Because
Yeah.
we don't want to stay stuck in venting. We want to create a new opportunity. So everyone in that group just kind of helps each other out.
Yeah. So it's solution based, not getting together to complain. Here's what happened with my kids. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what things like that. That's awesome. That's really cool. So I'm not a mom. Surprise. I am married to my wife. Obviously we have 3 kids. So, you know, there's the, I'll call it like the postpartum of having a baby. Like I can definitely feel a piece of what it is that you're talking about with your story of just, you know, I had a baby and things felt weird. Things were different. Things were hard and I didn't really know what to do. So I can definitely understand where you're coming from on that. Even more so deeper than just moms postpartum though. Right. So this is moms who with kids who are teenagers, kids who are, you know, just getting started with school or kids who are in college. It's just moms everywhere. And what you guys are doing. What are some of the things that you guys are setting out to go, hey, if there's one staple, one, like, if we're going to put our foot down on anything, obviously empowering moms is it. Yes. But what does that mean? So what are some of the things that moms are feeling? And talk to the audience too, because there's moms that listen to this podcast and I want them to hear your heart behind this of going like, yeah, she's talking about what I'm feeling right now. What are some of those things that you guys are set out to try and help accomplish that moms are feeling?
Yeah, well, I'm going to say number 1 is mom guilt. And they all know this. I'm sure you've heard this before. So mom guilt is real and it's consistent. It's always there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. One of the things we talk about is how do we work with mom guilt instead of shoving it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist? Okay, so what that looks like is even in this podcast today, right? I told you I'm going to shut my phone off and I'm going to trust that if there's an emergency at school, the other emergency contact people will respond, right? Now, I don't have the guilt factor in this right now because of where I've set that up for the rest of the day. But mom guilt is real. And I think when we try to hide it, it makes us suffer. When we look at it in the eyes and say, okay, I understand. It's almost like pretend it's like an annoying little sibling on your shoulder. Take the mom guilt with you and you get to determine how much power you're going to give it. Because here's the thing, if you give it more power, you're only going to burn out faster. And one thing I want to talk about with that is the word, I hate this word, and I'm going to talk about it's very triggering for me, is self-care. So I grew up in the family that self-care was selfish. We take care of others before we take care of ourselves. I don't think there's anything wrong with parenting that way, but that's not exactly true today. I don't think that that's a healthy way of looking at it. I grew up in healthcare. Many of my family members were in healthcare. So again, that's just what we did, right? My mom would even say, I gave up my life for you. Now she wore that as a badge of honor at first. And then it got mean and bitter and resentful. Well, I gave up my life for you. You owe me. And I'm like, I didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
And you're an adult who can make a different choice anytime in your life. So we talk about self-care, but what I train people to do is if that word is triggering, if it sounds like a chore or a luxury day at the spa that comes on your birthday or Mother's Day, scratch out the word and replace it with taking care of yourself. And here's the hard truth with moms. It is your responsibility. And they know this. No one's doing it for you because you're the giver. You're the person taking care of everybody else. No one's doing it for you. So it either starts with communication with a partner, a friend, whoever you're with, asking for help, which is hard, but also receiving it, which is even harder to actually receive it. How many moms out there say, like someone knows you're struggling, right? Someone knows you're having a hard time and they say, hey, can I help you? Can I do that for you? And you go, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You've literally just like ruined a beautiful moment where a friend could have served you. And I think it's so hard. And I say this because I have struggled with it and I still have moments of that. So I don't come across as being this like leader that's perfect or by any means. I'm still working on boundaries. I'm still working on communication and saying to my husband, like, well, here's my definition of boundaries. Like what's okay and what's not okay with me. So we talk a lot about boundaries and it's that general. It does not have to be mean or a hard wall. But I think the hard part is, especially if you have people pleasing tendencies like myself, I actually wrote a book around this.
Yeah.
Is the fact that some days it's just, I'm not okay. I don't know how to explain it. And there's other days where my husband will say, well, what's up? Like, I'm good. What do you need? And if I don't take that chance to communicate something, that's my fault because I have a willing person that's okay, right?
Yeah.
And if I don't also communicate my limit, so that's what I try to teach people is that boundary is just like, here's my limit. And today I hit it at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Shoot, this is going to be a rough day.
Mhm.
And other days I'm doing good till about noon.
Sure.
But usually at about 3, I think we've all hit our limits.
Yeah.
Any parent knows it's like the witching hour. So my husband and I look at each other, we're like, 3 o'clock, just hang in there. It's almost bedtime.
Yeah.
And not that we're trying to like, pray the day away, but we just know it's a rough time. So we know none of us are okay.
Mhm.
All of us are irritable. And so I think reframing your mind around self-care, learning that boundaries are not mean.
Yep.
It's a form of self-respect and a form of learning your limits. And I have gentle ways that I teach people this. And it doesn't start with saying no. It starts with slowing down your yes. That's like the easiest, simplest tip I could give anyone today with boundaries is just slow down the yes or slow down the response.
Mhm.
Someone needs something, just what if you didn't respond? What if it was whenever you get a chance, Emily, can you do this? And I'm like, oh, what if I didn't get a chance today? What would happen? Because if anyone says, when you get a chance, can you do this? It's not emergent.
Yeah.
Why are we jumping to an emergency? It's not emergent. Save that energy for emergencies because
Yeah.
they will come.
Yeah. No, I think that it's so many things I'm thinking through right now.
Tell me.
No, it's good. And so like one of the things, just I'll speak practically kind of from our point of view, because my wife and I, so I'm working, I'm the breadwinner in the family. My wife is home with the kids. She's not a single mom. She's a stay-at-home mom with our 3 kiddos that just went off to school. So she's got a break a little bit now, which is good. But one of the things that's hard is we live 45 minutes away. So the drive home is not driving, it's working still. I'm on the phone talking to people, communicating things, talking to, TCs or whoever else to try and get things done. Right. Like that happens. And so the entire drive home is work. Then I get home and it's like, okay, this is good. I know you've had a hard day. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing right now, getting dinner ready, things like that. Like give me 5 minutes just to decompress and then I'll take over. You know what I mean? So like, the big thing, and you said this too, just being able to communicate that, you know what I mean? Like one of the big things that's helped a ton, not just with our relationship with our kids, my wife's relationship with them too, at that 3 o'clock time that you're talking about, or at that witching hour that's super difficult with a lot of kids, is just being able to communicate and go, hey, listen, I know you've had a really hard day. Just give me 5 minutes. I just walked in the door. Let me put my backpack down. I know you want to go sit on the book and read or sit on the couch and read for a minute. Yeah. I will give it to you. You know what I mean? Like just being able to communicate those things, but also her ability to come back to me and go, hey, remember the other day? Thank you for that. And can we do that again on Friday?
Yeah. I have a tip for you.
Yeah. Let me hear it.
Before you walk in the door. Okay. So you get home and you need those 5 minutes, which most people do. I think everyone should take it. And you can do that in home, but that's going to be too hard. The kids are going to run and come get you. Mm-hmm. Do it in the garage.
Yeah.
Now I know like it's not as fun, or go for a walk or whatever. Or when you get home, circle the block one more time, take like your deep breaths and reset the button for the next day. Then that way, because I did hear when your kids see you or your wife sees you after they haven't seen you all day, they're going to throw the spaghetti at you. Like they're going to throw it at you hard. Yeah. Like I do it to my husband still. He's literally like, I'm waiting for the day that you don't just like word dump on me when I jump. Let me tell you all about my day.
Yeah.
Right. And so if we can reset it on our own before we get there, because the first thing that they want is your attention.
Sure.
So just a little, even if it's just a few deep breaths in the car and you're like, okay, reset for I used to be like phase 2 of the day starts at 3:30 or whenever we all get home. And now I'm in mom mode, full mom mode, like fully present. It's not easy. I practiced this for a while, but whatever like ritual you need to kind of like start over with phase 2 for the day. And I hear you though. I want to just shout that out. You communicated your need.
Yeah.
And if your partner respects that, it works for both of you. And then she's going to get what she needs. You'll get what you need. And even almost practice that for the weekend. Like look at your weekend. I don't know how crazy busy it all is, but there's usually these small pockets of time, if not bigger. My husband and I love blank slate weekends, which I know doesn't happen.
Isn't it crazy? Whenever you have a blank slate weekend, everybody asks you, hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Yes. However, blank slate, right? Like we both just take a deep breath and we love them. We love doing stuff, but we love looking at it going, we don't really have big plans this weekend. Like, this is amazing. What will we do for ourselves? And he always challenges me with, don't fill it. Please don't fill that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, it's good. And then that's when the magic happens though, because we end up filling it, but we fill it on the spot with like, hey, let's go out to breakfast. And then we find a new park. And then and that's where the memories get created.
Yeah.
Aside from that busyness.
Right. Because there's intention behind it at that point.
Well, it's just that whatever happens, and everyone is just more open to it.
Right. I think even planning out time that this is our free time planned out, is another thing too. Yeah, that's big. So I wanted to get into this too, because I'm a local business owner. You're a local business owner. And you mentioned the mom guilt side of things. I know moms that have this heart for like, hey, I feel like God's put things on my heart. I feel like I've had this idea or this thing that I want to go out and do, but I can't because my kids are holding me back. They're not, but it feels that way. I don't know how else to communicate it. And like, that's where I see a lot of women guilt come out. And I see it in the real estate space a lot too. Moms who are just like, hey, I'd really love to be able to contribute and be a contributor in my family with finances or however it is, and really just be out of the house and be doing things. And I feel like I can't do that. And we had this conversation too, which is why I bring it up. But what you guys are doing with Empowered Moms when it comes to those moms who are going and really coaching them through that of not just like, hey, just don't feel guilty, go for it. But like, no, let's coach you through because this is normal to feel this way. And here's your next step kind of deal.
Yeah.
If you can get into that too, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. So, right, guilt's going to be on your shoulder forever. You get to decide that. And some days it's going to win. You're going to let it because you just don't have the strength to fight it in that moment. And it's fine. But I want you to think about this too. And even for men too, it's not just have to be moms, is just think about how if you get to do this thing, whatever it is, even if it's just workout, exercise, eat healthier, whatever the choices are that take you away from your family, maybe not all those aligned, but you will show up better for them. So if you get to exercise something that's you're passionate about or that you're excited about in general, you will show up better. So think about this too with your kids, quality versus quantity time. If I had all the time in the world with my kids, but I showed up and I was like miserable, irritable, lack of sleep, not taking care of myself, because I lived with this woman for many years. And, and it was hard to see my mom go through that because I remember I gave up my life for my kids, which means what? Like you don't have a choice about anything. And this was a strong woman who had a choice about everything and an opinion about everything. And I watched that and I said, that's not okay. I need to learn how to take responsibility. And again, remember, it starts with communicating and then honoring your own self-respect. So moms that are wanting to be business entrepreneurs, let's just talk about that for a minute. Number one, fear will always haunt you. I still have fear. I fear every day. Is this really going to work? Right? I'm here to support moms. And whatever, I do trust in God and I do trust in the universe. And I do trust in all those signs that said, Emily, you should leave your 20-year career, making 6 figures, walk away, and something is more beautiful on the other side, I promise you. And I heard that for a few years. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew it was something working with moms. And I finally trusted. And I don't know how else to put that because at the time, my family did depend on me. And so that was really scary. But I thought, I've been hearing these whispers for years. I have to at least try something, right? Now, this was at the end of 2021. So this was not recent. And I did. I started coaching. I started coaching for, healthcare providers. And I still do coach out of burnout, boundaries. We talk about a lot of things. I do presentations there. But my heart is just like, the moms. What about the moms, right? So one thing I would tell them is, number one, there's always going to be, if you want to stay scared, then stay comfortable. Or I'm sorry, if you want to stay comfortable, then you'll always be a little bit stuck, right? If you're willing to get a little bit uncomfortable, that's where kind of magic happens. And what that means is, well, maybe I'll just try that, maybe I'll reach out and send an email and say, hey, Rory, can I be on your podcast? Like whatever it may be. Like maybe it's just like this little thing. Like, I don't know when I became an entrepreneur, I didn't have a plan for the first time in my life. I just knew it was something. And I just started talking about the things I was interested in and what I wanted to do. And I'm telling you, like the people, as long as you're taking a little bit of tiny actions, the people will come in. The more you talk about your dreams and your goals or where you want to go, you'll get connected to those people, but you have to put in that at least that amount of work to say, I'm willing to put myself out there a little bit. I'm willing to get uncomfortable. And I'm willing to ask for help. I do not do this alone. Right now it's a company of me and myself. And then I say we, because it's the community that makes it the company, right? It's not just me, but I am not alone because of all the business groups I'm in and the networking that I do. I meet someone and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I might need that, but it's good. I'm going to put you in my back pocket.
Yeah.
So just putting yourself a little bit, because that is uncomfortable for some people, is putting themselves out there. So just talk to, a couple of people about your ideas and see what pops up, but you're going to have to do things you don't normally do, right? It's a little bit getting uncomfortable and saying, I might have to go to that. I don't know. And if that's even too scary, then just start personally. Maybe you go to the gym every day and you're always like lifting weights, but you're like, I'm going to try that silly dance class because that's uncomfortable. So if you start doing it to yourself, right? If you start doing these like small uncomfortable things first, it's going to make sending that email to someone not as scary because you're like, I don't know, I did that crazy dance class that I looked like a fool. Well, here's the thing. Like all we're doing is taking a chance every day and saying, I'm going to take this chance because at least I'm showing myself that I'm betting on myself.
Yep.
And not being afraid of, I'm going to say like failure. There is no failure. I don't believe in failure because if something was a no, it was meant to be a no. And I'm going to find a yes somewhere else. And at the same time, it's just feedback. Well, was I not clear on an offer or on whatever else I had going on? So I kind of I don't believe in that anymore. So I think that just even those little things to help someone who's even thinking about it, also getting into groups. Like I said, I mean, come join us every month. We have a handful of moms in the group that have not started anything, but they're thinking about it and they just want to absorb what everyone else is like feeling and doing. And I feel like now when they feel ready, which you never are, but when they really do, and they're like, okay, now it's like a burning desire. They know who out of all of the people in our groups, they know, okay, I'm going to go call Sarah. Yeah. Or I'm going to go call this person, or maybe it's Emily. Like I'm going to call you and just say, hey, and I'm going to say, how can I best support you? Right. And that's what we do in our groups.
Yeah. And I think it even goes deeper too than that. So from the business side of things, I see this every single day with the real estate side of like, hey, you've got to be willing to do, I call it uncomfort too. Get on the phone and talk to somebody you've never talked to before and risk being let down and told, go away, don't call me ever again. You have to risk that in order to be successful in anything. And it's meeting people, it's having community or the opportunity even to have community in the exact same way. But even with moms, like you said, moms who are not starting businesses, they take those exact same risks, right? Like saying hi to the random mom at the park with their, you know what I mean? That might be the very relationship and the friendship that they've been looking for, that it's going to be the very thing that supports them. You know what I mean? Like that same coaching next step that you guys are doing, which is super cool. What is it that you have is there a conference that you guys have coming up here soon? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So we have Empowered Moms event is coming October 22nd, Sunday. It's an all-day immersive event at the Detroit Marriott in Southfield. And there's going to be mom-owned business vendors. So about 20 of these like awesome, I'm so excited for them. And I'm so proud of them too. Like these are people I've never met before, some of them. And they're going to be selling products, services, things like that, or just support. We're going to have some local speakers that some of which you've seen or heard, and some are going to be brand new. And I'm really excited mostly for them to share their stories. Because I feel like everything's in the story. And when someone relates to someone else's story and they can see themselves relatable to that person, that's where some magic happens. So it's not just like a big party. I hate to tell everybody that, but we are going to dance. We're going to do some partying. And we've got, a portion of our proceeds go to the Ennis Center for Children. And we've got some amazing sponsors, which honestly, I just have to like give the shout out. I can't list all of them in this podcast, but I am blown away by people I've never met that are like, how can I sponsor this event? Yeah. And they're all moms and they want to pour into this community. And I think that just shows the need that women and moms want to come together in a community like this.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is so cool. And that's October 26th?
October 22nd.
22nd, sorry. Yeah.
Tickets are on our website. We do have early bird going until I think mid-September.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
if for all of you out there who are interested in hearing more about that conference taking place over at the Marriott on the 22nd of October, go check out the website that you guys see scrolling across the screen. I'm assuming too, they can get a hold of you via email or phone number right on that website as well.
Yes.
And then are you guys, the social media is on there too?
Correct.
Great.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's the place to go. Go check out the website, get connected with empoweredmoms.co. That is the name of the website. I didn't mess that up. It's not .com.
Correct.
It's .co. Go check it out and get involved with them. Any other last words of wisdom or anything that you want to share before we close this out?
No, I mean, I think honestly, I just want moms to know that they're not alone. They can come to me on Instagram, DM me. It's at Dr. Emily Jacobs. Like I want to hear from you because trust me, like I'm a mom too. And some days I do feel alone. And some days I want to know that this is making an impact for people. So I do care and I do respond. It is, like I said, it's a company of one right now. I do care. Really, my mission is to support moms and help them to not feel alone in whatever their journey is. And I'm happy to connect you with people that I know that might be able to help you if it's something I can't do.
Yeah, I love it. Very thankful that you took the time to come in to be a part of the podcast today and really share your guys' story and what it is that you're doing and what it is that hopefully you're going to continue to do for a very long time, not just here in Michigan, but in the US when it comes to empowering moms and helping them take their next steps. I really very thankful that you could come in today.
Yeah. Thank you, Rory. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And very thankful for you guys. Thanks for tuning in today's episode of Tuesdays with Rory. You guys have a very blessed day. We'll catch you next time.